Hello and aloha! I'm here with the Bay District Vice President, Linda Pitts, and the California-Hawaii Elks Association President, Ted Talbot.
Linda, if you can describe your visit with President Ted in one word, what would it be?
Historical, some of it.
Okay. And President Ted, if you can describe your visit in the Bay District in one word, what would it be?
Riveting.
Riveting. Yeah. Historical and riveting. Those are pretty good words. Linda, tell us about Thursday and Friday when President Ted and Jeannie came into the district on Thursday. Tell us about what happened then and on Friday during your visits with the rest of the AVPs.
Okay, well on Thursday, we picked up them at the airport. We brought them to lunch at Chevy's in Berkeley. And Thursday night we went out to dinner at the hotel we were staying at and had the district leaders, Dick Gay and Bob Cassetta, our district leaders, and Ted and Jeannie and myself and my husband. That's what we did Thursday. Yes.
So Thursday night you all went out to dinner, and then Friday the association vice presidents came in, and then you all went out. What happened then?
With San Francisco Lodge, we had the continental breakfast, and then a tour of their lodge. It was just, their lodge is amazing. It's so, so they brought us through the lodge a lot, and then from there we went to San Mateo Lodge for lunch and a tour, and then we played bocce. So it was a lot of fun. And after that, we went to the Skyline Memorial in San Mateo. And that was dedicated in 1966 for Elks members. So it's the only memorial that's dedicated to Elks only. Right. So then from there, we had a little bit of extra time. So we went to Redwood City Lodge for a impromptu visit, a quick impromptu visit. And that was nice showing them. I mean, Redwood City is amazing. It has a golf course, swimming pools. It's a beautiful lodge. And because we need a little extra time to give South San Francisco a chance to get everything ready for dinner at South San Francisco. So the reason we wanted to add South San Francisco into this whole equation was the fact that they had a fire last year, and they couldn't open up until a good portion of it was reestablished. So March of this year, they pretty much got most of it done, and so I wanted to show what they've done and accomplished in that amount of time. And they still have the gym to fix and everything, but it's a work in progress. Okay, that's it for Friday.
Okay. And then President Ted, on Saturday you had your big speech, but before your big speech, what happened? What did you guys do before the big speech?
Well, let's get back to San Francisco Lodge number 3. That's the longest continuous lodge in elk history.
Right.
Lodge number 1, which is New York, has been in and out, in and out. The difference on San Francisco Lodge number 3 is they've got the pattern for the Elks emblem in their carpet, which is patented, and it is absolutely gorgeous when you see the Elks emblem. We took a tour of that facility. One of the big highlights of that was the men's room. And I'm sorry to say that, but it was the old style utilities within there. I'm trying to clean it up as best as I can. But old style urinals and toilets from that standpoint. And they had modernized the women's, but the men, they had left the original on that. And so both men and women were going in there to look at this, and then some of the paintings that were on the wall were the men's out overlooking the sceneries from that standpoint. And then we were able to go through the building to see some of the other facilities that they actually have there. They've got a beautiful full-size pool. It's almost, I would call it an Olympic-sized pool. Just absolutely phenomenal. They have a sauna, they have jacuzzis, hot steam and cool rooms for both men and women. The women had to go through the women's side, the men had to go through the men's side. From that standpoint, it's at San Francisco number 3. Then from there, we went to the Memorial Park, if I remember correctly. That was spectacular because if you look at all of the grave sites and all the memorial sites, and it had the 11 o'clock design in the center of the establishment. But other than that, it was phenomenal. Then, as she said, we went over with San Mateo Lodge. If I remember correctly, they have a bowling alley.
Yes, they do.
A 4-lane bowling alley in the bottom of their lodge, plus the bocce ball, plus the swimming pool, plus. And we had lunch there with them. It was just unbelievable. And then to hear what some of the members were doing, outreaching for their communities, especially our veterans and their welcome back or transitioning into normal lifestyles afterwards. Phenomenal programs that they were putting on for that. Then that night, as she said, we went over to South San Francisco Lodge, which is not in downtown. We had a marvelous time there. We did see some of the fire damage that they had at the facility, but they are moving it forward. We saw a lot of the new construction. We had a marvelous dinner there with several of the members. Again, interacting with the members and seeing all the positive outreaches and improvements that they want to do within their lodge and within their communities, and then with their youth, because they were having, I call them race cars for kids, where they do the wooden cars and they build their own cars and slide them down, and I forget what that's called right off the top of my head, but soapbox cars, and they actually had some of those on display, and one of the exalted rulers or one of the members had the winning car there. So it was just phenomenal time frame that was spent with the lodge members on that.
Okay.
And then
tonight. Yes, sir.
And then Saturday.
So should I just go through
Saturday.
what we did before the dinner, or no?
Yeah,
Sure. Tell us what happened on Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay, so Saturday morning, that's where we had breakfast at the hotel, but then we went right to Rosie the Riveter. That's why he's talking. And so the historic day. I mean, that was the movie and everything that they presented, the people that we walked around with. It was a great morning. I mean, I had actually never been there and wanted to, and that's why I incorporated it into visitation. And I thought it went well. And then we went to Alameda Lodge, which looks like a little White House. It's gorgeous. And then they have, so we had lunch there, and then we did a tour, and they have a beautiful, like, stained glass dome in their meeting room. It's a really lovely place. Perfect. So that's all before dinner.
Then we had President Ted's big speech.
Yes.
Well, let's go back to that visitation. Rosie the Riveter. That's told the history, because all the men during World War II were off to war. A lot of the ladies had to step up. They became welders, riveters, and they had 4 plus shipyards in the area where they were turning out ships, and they had to build them from scratch, and a lot of the ladies were there doing that. So you had ethnic groups of all mixed together, working together as a community, and it was put on by an individual, and they were turning out at least one ship, if not more ships per month than anybody else has ever done. So it was just a phenomenal time frame from that. So you got the history of that and that community and what it took for there. Then, as she said, we went over to the little White House, then Alameda Lodge.
Yes.
Alameda Lodge, and with that, we got to have some snacks, great lunch, and then we toured the facility, and then portions of the building, they say, are haunted. And to be honest with you, it could have been. Mm-hmm. Because in some of the areas that we were in, the lights were going on and off, and nobody was around flipping a switch. But it just, we were surprised on that. The lodge room with the stained glass, if you lay down on the floor, it looks straight up, is just spectacular dome stained glass windows up there. The acoustics in the room were phenomenal. As far as you could hear a pin drop almost from across the room. It was just really spectacular from that standpoint. And then that night, we went to Richmond Lodge for the presentation, my final presentation, and teddy bears abound from that standpoint. All of the AVPs put on their teddy bear ears, which is a trademark for this. I got to get up and walk around the room and talk to a whole bunch of the members from that standpoint. Got congratulated by the secretary, who said, hey, if you weren't there to have helped me through this CLIMS project, there's a good possibility we wouldn't be here. But I enjoyed CLIMS. And CLIMS is Chicago Lodge Management System. That's our record-keeping system that we keep track of our members, our charity records book, and so that we can keep track of all the charity stuff that we do to promote our communities and events around that. Then after the dinner, the next morning, we came back, which was fabulous time frame at the dinner. The next morning we came back, and then there was a parade. Then we got into this beautiful convertible car, and we're driving down the street. They were playing music within the car, waving to all the members and everything, doing the typical elk wave. And then they started playing some great music on there. And so Jeannie and I were either singing or mouthing and getting the people on the side of the road excited and singing along with us as we strolled down the street. And it was all of a real lengthy parade, all of maybe mile and a half max. Yeah. But it was, again, a lot of fun. And then from there, pack up off to the airport to head back home. And then, but the weekend in the Bay Area was an absolutely fabulous time frame from that standpoint. So we had a great time.
The other lodges really stepped up on everything as far as what we laid out for the visitation. It was very nice.
What lodges stepped up and helped?
Pretty much all that we talked about: San Francisco, San Mateo, South San Francisco, and Alameda, and Richmond Lodge. I think I missed someone. We visited 6 out of the 7 lodges in our district. You know, we tried to do the most we could with the time that we had available.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, again, it sounds like you had a great time in the Bay District. And we are
the
Elks.
We are
The Elks.
Why?
Because it's great
to be an elk.
Linda, President Ted, thank you very much for this interview. I
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.